Hello, friends. The 930th day of the war between Russia and Ukraine continues. Today, Russian military telegram channels wrote about a series of counterattacks by the Russian army in the Kursk region. In particular, it is claimed that the Russians were able to push the Ukrainian armed forces back from Korenivo, as well as about the beginning of battles for the villages of Snagost and Apanasovka, controlled by the Ukrainian army. The last two villages play an important role. By controlling them, as well as a number of other settlements to the southeast of the same river, the Ukrainian armed forces have effectively squeezed the group of Russian troops in the Glushkovo district between the border and the same river. If the Russians push the Ukrainian armed forces to the southeast of the river, this will allow them to supply units in the Glushkovo district by land, which will improve logistics. However, so far there is no objective evidence of the advance of Russian troops in the Kursk region. Ukrainian sources have not confirmed or commented on this either. Meanwhile, Russian troops have resumed their offensive towards Pokrovsk. The Ukrainian military began reporting this yesterday evening. They stated that the Russians attacked west of the recently captured Novogradivka and entered the outskirts of the village of Lyasivka. The Ukrainian military writes that the enemy is on the outskirts of Lyasivka, near the lake on both sides. We hold one side confidently, the other is unclear. There are many adjacent units of soldiers, and because of this, communication between them is zero. I will note that earlier the Ukrainian authorities, as well as some Western media, announced the stabilization of the situation in the Pokrovsk direction, but many Ukrainian military did not agree with this assessment. On the southern flank of their Pokrovsk offensive, Russian troops drove the Ukrainian armed forces out of some positions on the northern edge of the city of Krasnogorivka, according to Deep State. At the same time, the Russian Ministry of Defense today announced the complete capture of the city, as well as the village of Galitsinivka north of Krasnogorivka. The situation of the Ukrainian armed forces in the area of Vuhledar is deteriorating, where the Russians advanced south of the recently captured Vodiany, approaching Vuhledar from the northeast. Russian telegram channels are writing about the capture of the Yuzhnodonbasskaya, one mine between Vodiany and Vuhledar, and showed their flag being hung over its main building. They are also reporting the start of an assault on the Yuzhnodonbasskaya 3 mine to the west of Vodiany, on the road to the village of Bogoyavlenka, through which Vuhledar is supplied. I have already said that the city is now suspended. On the highway through Bogoyavlenka, other major roads are blocked. If this road is cut off, we can talk about the encirclement of Vuhledar. Today, the U.S. began actively warming up the topic of granting Ukraine permission to strike Russia with Western missiles. Axios journalist Julia Grace Brufk writes that, according to her information, permission has already been approved. Guys, I don't want to describe this news in more detail and make an idiot out of myself, because I am overwhelmed with negative emotions. I hope you won't abandon me in the coming difficult times and will continue to support me. In the end, I want to show a video of U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham during a meeting with Zelensky, who described the benefits of the war in Ukraine for Americans. You are trying to stop the Russians so that we do not have to fight them. The Ukrainians do not want any American troops. They just want weapons to free their country from a terrible invasion. The Ukrainians are sitting on minerals worth $1 trillion, which can be useful for our economy. So I want to continue to help our friends in Ukraine, Graham said. This is not the first such statement by Lindsey Graham, and I do not like what he says. But I want to give him credit because he is one of the few who voices the real goals of this war and does not rub in bullshit about joining NATO. The most amazing thing is that the guy standing next to him thanked Lindsey Graham at the end. It's sad. Friends, this channel exists solely thanks to your support. If you have the opportunity and desire to support the channel, I will be very grateful to you. Thank you very much and see you in the next video.